news spreads around the world of a strange and enormous sea creature that has been sighted by numerous ships. The mysterious creature is said to be something like a gigantic narwhal with astonishing speed and strength, and it has caused damage to various vessels. Newspapers speculate on its nature, and a global debate stirs, with scientists and the public alike discussing its possible origins. Curiosity, fear, and excitement grow as more encounters are reported, setting the stage for an expedition to investigate the truth behind this underwater mystery. The mystery of the sea creature continues to capture global attention. The debate among scientists and the public intensifies, with various theories emerging about the nature of the creature. Professor Pierre Aronnax, a distinguished scientist and the narrator of the story, becomes involved in the discussion, presenting his own educated opinion. He theorizes that the creature might indeed be a giant narwhal or some undiscovered species. The U.S. government organizes an expedition to locate and confront the mysterious sea creature that has alarmed the maritime world. The expedition is set to depart on the frigate Abraham Lincoln, commanded by the formidable Captain Farragut. Professor Aronnax, excited by the opportunity to study the creature firsthand, is invited to join the mission, along with his loyal servant Conseil. The American government spares no expense, outfitting the Abraham Lincoln with all necessary equipment for the challenging journey ahead. Alongside the crew is a seasoned harpooner named Ned Land, who has earned a reputation as one of the best in his field. With everything prepared, the expedition sets sail, full of anticipation and resolve to uncover the truth behind the mysterious ocean terror. The famed Canadian harpooner joining the expedition aboard the Abraham Lincoln. Known for his strength, precision, and exceptional skill with a harpoon, Ned is respected among sailors and feared by marine life. His personality is straightforward, practical, and somewhat skeptical, in contrast to the scientifically curious Professor Aronnax. Despite his doubts about the existence of a giant sea creature, Ned agrees to join the mission for the thrill of the hunt and the promise of adventure. The Abraham Lincoln sets off on its mission to find and confront the mysterious sea creature. The ship sails through various seas, with the crew constantly on the lookout, but days turn into weeks without any sign of the creature. The crew grows restless, and skepticism begins to creep in, with some even doubting the creature's existence. However, Captain Farragut remains resolute, maintaining a strict watch and encouraging the crew to stay vigilant. Professor Aronnax, too, keeps hope alive, motivated by his scientific curiosity and the chance to witness something extraordinary. The Abraham Lincoln presses on in its relentless search for the sea creature, covering vast distances as they explore the Pacific Ocean. As the days pass, the mood among the crew shifts from eager anticipation to frustration and fatigue. Captain Farragut, however, refuses to give up and orders the ship to move at full steam, determined to find the creature. Just as hope is beginning to fade, excitement breaks out on board when, at last, they spot something unusual in the water. The crew of the Abraham Lincoln finally spots the mysterious creature. It appears to be a massive, glowing object moving at incredible speed beneath the water's surface, occasionally emitting an intense light. The crew is both mesmerized and frightened by its appearance. Captain Farragut orders an approach to get a closer look, but the creature seems to deliberately evade them, moving with agility and speed far beyond any known marine animal. Professor Aronnax is captivated, convinced this creature could be an unknown species of whale, while Ned Land prepares his harpoon, eager for the challenge. The Abraham Lincoln crew engages in a tense and dramatic chase with the mysterious creature, which moves unpredictably through the water. The ship approaches the creature several times, only for it to escape or retaliate, displaying a level of intelligence and strength that defies understanding. At one point, the creature even strikes the ship, causing significant damage and sending shockwaves of fear through the crew. Amid the chaos, Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land are thrown overboard during an especially violent encounter. Stranded and adrift in the ocean, they realize they're dangerously close to the creature itself. Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land find themselves stranded in the open sea after being thrown overboard. As they cling to debris, They realize they are actually on the back of the creature they've been pursuing. To their amazement, they discover it isn't a living animal, but rather a man-made submarine-like vessel. Eventually, a hatch opens, and mysterious figures pull them inside. Inside, they meet the submarine's enigmatic captain, who reveals that they are now captives and will never be allowed to leave. Ned Land is outraged, feeling trapped and betrayed, while Aronnax is torn between fear and fascination with this incredible technological marvel. Professor Aronnax and his companions meet the captain of the submarine, who introduces himself as Captain Nemo. Nemo is a mysterious, intense man who explains that he has renounced society and lives independently beneath the sea, aboard his vessel, the Nautilus. He offers Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land the freedom to move about the submarine and observe its wonders, but with one condition: they must remain on the Nautilus permanently, as no one who boards it may leave. Although troubled by their captivity, Aronnax is intrigued by Nemo's ideals and advanced knowledge of marine life and technology. Captain Nemo gives Professor Aronnax a tour of his submarine, the Nautilus, revealing its marvels and advanced technology. Aronnax is astounded by the vessel's size, self-sufficiency, and the scientific genius behind its design. Nemo explains that the Nautilus is powered by electricity, which he generates from resources obtained from the ocean, allowing the submarine to be entirely independent from the surface world. He shows Aronnax his extensive library, museum-like collection of marine specimens, and luxurious accommodations. Aronnax is fascinated by Nemo's achievements and the possibilities of life beneath the waves, despite the reality of their captivity. Captain Nemo continues his tour of the Nautilus by explaining how he harnesses electricity to power the submarine and sustain life aboard. He reveals that he has discovered methods to generate electricity from oceanic resources, making the Nautilus entirely self-sufficient. Nemo describes the submarine's systems, including air purification, lighting, and propulsion, all of which rely on this electric power. Professor Aronnax is deeply impressed by the ingenuity of Nemo's inventions, which seem far ahead of their time. Captain Nemo provides Professor Aronnax with detailed technical specifications of the Nautilus. He reveals its dimensions, capabilities, and how it was constructed in secret using materials and parts sourced from around the world. Nemo explains that the Nautilus can travel at remarkable speeds and reach great depths due to its sturdy design and advanced propulsion system. Aronnax is amazed by the submarine's capabilities, realizing it is unlike any vessel known to humanity. Captain Nemo takes the Nautilus through the Black Current, a powerful underwater current in the Pacific Ocean. As they travel, he allows Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land to observe the diverse marine life through large viewing windows in the submarine. Aronnax is captivated by the abundance and beauty of the ocean's flora and fauna, gaining a new appreciation for the wonders of the underwater world. This journey through the Black Current is both thrilling and educational for Aronnax, as he witnesses species he had only read about before. Captain Nemo sends a written invitation to Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land, inviting them to go on an underwater hunting expedition. Intrigued and eager to experience the underwater world firsthand, Aronnax accepts, though Ned and Conseil are more hesitant. Nemo explains that they will wear specially designed diving suits connected to portable air tanks, allowing them to breathe and move freely underwater. Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Captain Nemo embark on their underwater adventure, walking on the ocean floor in their diving suits. The group explores a stunning underwater landscape, encountering various marine creatures and vibrant plant life. Aronnax is mesmerized by the beauty and tranquility of the underwater world, marveling at the vivid colors and diverse species surrounding them. As they continue, they witness Captain Nemo's familiarity with and reverence for the ocean. Captain Nemo leads Professor Aronnax and Conseil to an underwater forest of unique marine vegetation. They wander among towering kelp and various forms of sea plants, which create an otherworldly and enchanting environment. Aronnax is struck by the tranquility and beauty of the forest, seeing it as a surreal alien landscape full of life, As they explore, they encounter marine creatures that add to the sense of wonder and richness of this underwater world. The Nautilus continues its journey through the Pacific Ocean, covering vast distances and reaching incredible depths. Professor Aronnax, fascinated by the diverse marine life, spends his days observing various species through the submarine's windows and recording his findings. During this time, he gains new insights into the ocean's ecosystems and encounters creatures he had never imagined. The crew encounters both calm waters and treacherous currents, showcasing the vast and varied nature of the Pacific. Captain Nemo takes the Nautilus to the island of Vanikoro in the Pacific, where the famed French explorer La Pérouse's expedition was shipwrecked decades earlier. Professor Aronnax is intrigued by this visit, as it ties into historical mysteries of maritime exploration. Nemo recounts the story of La Pérouse's tragic voyage, showing a surprising level of respect and reverence for the lost explorers. As they explore the area, they come across the remains of the wrecked ships, a poignant reminder of the dangers of the sea. The Nautilus navigates the treacherous Torres Strait, a narrow passage between Australia and Papua New Guinea, known for its shallow waters and dangerous reefs. Captain Nemo skillfully steers the submarine through the strait, demonstrating his impressive navigational expertise. Despite his expertise, the Nautilus scrapes against some rocks, causing minor damage and requiring repairs. The tense journey through the Torres Strait showcases the perils of undersea exploration, even for such an advanced vessel as the Nautilus. Captain Nemo brings the Nautilus to a secluded island in the Indian Ocean, where he allows Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land to go ashore for supplies. This rare opportunity for land exploration excites the trio, especially Ned, who has longed to escape the confinement of the submarine. They collect food, fresh water, and other resources from the island, enjoying the freedom of open air and natural surroundings. Despite Ned's desire to escape, he ultimately returns to the Nautilus with his companions, understanding that a successful escape would be unlikely. While the Nautilus is in the Indian Ocean, the crew encounters a ship that appears to be a warship from Nemo's mysterious past. Captain Nemo's demeanor shifts dramatically, revealing deep-seated anger and a desire for revenge. He orders the Nautilus to attack, ramming the unsuspecting vessel and sinking it, leading to the deaths of those aboard. Professor Aronnax is horrified by Nemo's actions, realizing the depth of his hatred for certain groups or nations, although Nemo's motivations remain shrouded in mystery. Captain Nemo takes Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land on another underwater expedition to a coral forest. During the journey, Nemo reveals his respect for the ocean as a final resting place, explaining that he has created an underwater cemetery for his deceased crew members. They witness this serene and hauntingly beautiful coral kingdom, where the departed are laid to rest in a natural tomb under the sea. Aronnax is moved by the solemnity and beauty of the scene, seeing another side of Nemo's character, a reverence for life and death. The Nautilus travels through the vast Indian Ocean, allowing Professor Aronnax to observe a remarkable array of marine life, from fish and crustaceans to larger sea creatures. Aronnax takes meticulous notes, captivated by the richness of underwater biodiversity. As they journey, Captain Nemo shares knowledge about the ocean's currents, flora, and fauna, offering insights into the delicate ecosystems. However, tensions aboard the Nautilus rise, especially with Ned Land, who grows increasingly restless and frustrated with their continued captivity. Captain Nemo takes Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land on a dive to an underwater pearl oyster bed near the island of Ceylon, modern-day Sri Lanka. During their exploration, they come across an enormous pearl inside a giant oyster, valued at a staggering 10 million francs. Nemo reveals that he has been watching over this pearl for years, allowing it to grow undisturbed rather than harvesting it for wealth. The Nautilus travels further into the Indian Ocean, heading toward the Red Sea. Professor Aronnax spends his time studying the marine life they encounter, cataloging various species and marveling at the ocean's richness. However, tension remains high among the passengers, especially with Ned Land, who becomes increasingly restless and vocal about his desire to escape. Ned's frustration stems from the sense of confinement and lack of control over his fate. Meanwhile, Captain Nemo seems indifferent to their growing discontent, maintaining his focus on the journey and the scientific exploration. Captain Nemo reveals his plan to take the Nautilus through an underground tunnel, connecting the Indian Ocean to the Red Sea, a secret passage unknown to the outside world. Professor Aronnax is fascinated by this discovery, realizing it allows Nemo to travel undetected between seas. The Nautilus embarks on this journey through the tunnel, navigating the dark, narrow passage with ease due to Nemo's confidence and expertise. The Nautilus emerges into the Red Sea after successfully navigating the secret underwater passage from the Indian Ocean. Professor Aronnax is captivated by the distinct ecosystem, observing the unique marine life and the region's historical significance as an ancient trade route. Captain Nemo shares insights about the Red Sea's history and ecology, illustrating his deep knowledge of both nature and human history. During their journey, Aronnax reflects on Nemo's motivations and philosophy, still puzzled by the captain's past and reasons for living in isolation. The Nautilus travels through the beautiful waters of the Mediterranean, passing by the Greek islands. Professor Aronnax is thrilled to explore this historically rich and scenic region where ancient civilizations once flourished. Captain Nemo, however, seems disinterested in the historical significance and beauty of the surroundings, showing no desire to surface or engage with the outside world. As they journey through these culturally and historically significant waters, Aronnax reflects on Nemo's complex character and complete detachment from human society. Captain Nemo takes Professor Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land on a diving expedition near the Greek islands. They come across an enormous pearl in a giant oyster, hidden within a secluded underwater grotto. Nemo reveals that he has been guarding this pearl, allowing it to grow undisturbed over the years rather than harvesting it. The pearl's massive size and value symbolize both nature's beauty and wealth, which Nemo respects but does not exploit. This encounter reinforces Nemo's disdain for material wealth and his reverence for the natural world, as he values preservation over personal gain. Captain Nemo takes the Nautilus to the Bay of Vigo, off the coast of Spain. He explains to Professor Aronnax that this location is famous for a sunken treasure, gold and silver from Spanish galleons that sank there centuries earlier during a battle. Aronnax is amazed to learn that Nemo has been collecting this treasure from the ocean floor, using it to fund his operations and sustain the Nautilus. This revelation adds another layer to Nemo's character, showing that while he shuns society, he still utilizes its resources in his own way. Captain Nemo takes Professor Aronnax to the depths of the Atlantic Ocean, where they explore what he believes to be remnants of the lost continent of Atlantis. Aronnax is astonished to see ancient ruins, submerged columns, and remnants of a forgotten civilization on the ocean floor. This underwater archaeological discovery stirs Aronnax's imagination as he contemplates the mysteries of history and the fate of Atlantis. Captain Nemo seems deeply moved by the scene, perhaps seeing a reflection of his own isolation and detachment from the world above. The Nautilus enters the Sargasso Sea, a massive expanse of the Atlantic Ocean covered in dense seaweed. This unique region, where currents converge, traps debris, plant life, and even abandoned ships. Professor Aronnax observes the strange, almost eerie beauty of the floating vegetation and the vast amount of marine life it supports. Despite the unusual setting, the Nautilus encounters no significant obstacles as it navigates through the seaweed. The Nautilus encounters a powerful storm while traveling through the Atlantic Ocean. Despite being submerged, the submarine is still impacted by the intense turbulence, with waves and currents tossing it violently. Professor Aronnax experiences the terrifying power of the ocean, realizing that even in the safety of the Nautilus, they are not immune to nature's force. The crew endures the storm in silence and determination, and Captain Nemo remains calm and composed, displaying his trust in the submarine's strength. The Nautilus travels northward through the Atlantic Ocean, with a sense of tranquility prevailing on board. However, this calm atmosphere is short-lived, as tensions rise among the crew and passengers. Ned Land, still eager to escape, becomes increasingly restless, feeling that their chance to flee may be slipping away. Professor Aronnax and Conseil are caught between the allure of the underwater wonders they have witnessed and the growing unease about their uncertain future. The Nautilus travels into colder waters, heading toward the Antarctic region. Captain Nemo decides to explore the icy expanse of the South Pole, pushing the submarine further into dangerous waters filled with towering icebergs and floating ice. As they progress, the Nautilus becomes trapped beneath thick ice, unable to surface. The situation grows increasingly dire as air supplies dwindle, and the crew must work tirelessly to free the submarine. Captain Nemo remains determined and composed, ultimately guiding the Nautilus through a narrow opening in the ice, allowing them to escape and surface. The Nautilus journeys from the southern tip of South America around Cape Horn and then heads northward towards the Amazon River. During this journey, Professor Aronnax takes the opportunity to study the diverse marine ecosystems, observing the variety of marine life that thrives in both cold and tropical waters. The Nautilus encounters a terrifying and dangerous situation when it is attacked by a group of giant squids, also called poulps. These massive creatures latch onto the submarine with their powerful tentacles, attempting to crush it. Captain Nemo and his crew must fight them off in a desperate struggle. Armed with axes and other weapons, Nemo, his men, and even Professor Aronnax join the battle to prevent the squids from overwhelming the submarine. During the fight, one of the crew members is tragically seized by a squid and lost to the sea, deeply affecting everyone, particularly Captain Nemo. The Nautilus travels northward, nearing European waters. Captain Nemo grows increasingly withdrawn, burdened by his past and the tragic incidents that have occurred during their journey. Professor Aronnax senses Nemo's turmoil and is troubled by his unpredictable behavior. The crew, including Aronnax, Conseil, and Ned Land, all feel the strain of their prolonged isolation. Ned Land, more determined than ever, convinces Aronnax and Conseil that they must escape before it is too late. As the Nautilus nears its destination, a storm strikes, adding to the tension. Ned Land, Professor Aronnax, and Conseil take advantage of the stormy conditions to make their escape from the Nautilus. They board a small dinghy and manage to flee, even as the submarine battles the fierce waves of the ocean. The fate of Captain Nemo and the Nautilus remains shrouded in mystery, as they vanish into the sea, their ultimate destiny unknown. Professor Aronnax later finds himself in the company of Conseil and Ned. Having been rescued by a passing ship, he reflects on their incredible underwater journey, the wonders they experienced, and the enigmatic Captain Nemo, whose brilliance and torment left a lasting impact. The chapter ends with a sense of awe and ambiguity, leaving readers to wonder about the fate of the Nautilus and its enigmatic captain.